The village in it with a map and a plan. No place too tiny for this determined man. Crossing the counties one by one, you'll see in every English corner a bit of history.
Welcome back to Rutland again, everybody. Now, it's been a while since we've seen a parish quite like this. We've done 2 like this before, but this is only the 3rd one out of 8 in the entire country that are the same. This is one of the parishes that has a population of 0. We've done 2 already. We've done Meering in Nottinghamshire, and we've done Newland with Woodhouse Moor in West Yorkshire. Well, this is in Rutland, and it's called Martinsthorpe. Martinsthorpe, Martin's Farm. Today on TVI, we're not visiting a village. We're going to find one solitary house on a walk that will take us less than 20 minutes. That's the shape of Martinsthorpe, a chunk of Rutland which is totally unpopulated. This is one of the 8 parishes of England that have no population at all. Our visit to this parish means that now we've covered 3 of those 8, with Meering in Nottinghamshire and Newland with Woodhouse Moor in West Yorkshire already behind us. There is no village here, but there used to be. It was called Martinsthorpe, and the modern parish takes its name from the now lost settlement. Martinsthorpe literally means outlying farm or settlement of Martin. Now, I've no idea who Martin was, but you really can't get much more outlying than this. Located about 4 miles south of Oakham along the A6003, Martinsthorpe is the only parish in Rutland to have no population these days, although according to the 2001 census, Beaumont Chase also recorded a population of 0 too. The one remaining building is named Old Hall Farmhouse, and it was built in 1659. It's a Grade 2 listed building and sits on a prominent ridge. Originally, it was part of the service wing for Martinsthorpe Hall, the country seat of the Earls of Nottingham. After several decades unoccupied, it's now been restored as a holiday let, so periodically it is lived in, albeit temporarily. So we're on a mission to find one house, but there are earthworks and an old church to discuss too, as well as Martinsthorpe Hall. This is one of the most unusual parishes we'll ever meet, so let's get to it and see what it's all about. Right, so this is the extent of the roadway you can find in Martinsthorpe. It's virtually nothing. Basically, it's just an entrance to, well, what is effectively a field. There's a little car parking space on the left-hand side, as you can see here, or your right-hand side, which is a perfect place to leave the car, because from this position, this will take us down into Martinsthorpe if we just follow this track. Here is said track. There's a gate in front of us. We go through that. This is actually a bridle way, so you're perfectly entitled to walk down here. It's a good job, really, because if you weren't, I don't know how the heck I'd do this one, to be honest with you. In the distance there, you can see there is a house. That's the only house in Martinsthorpe, but nobody lives in it, not permanently anyway. If there was ever a map that hasn't changed much, it's this one. Martinsthorpe looks almost exactly the same as this today. Vastly rural and very romantic, Martinsthorpe consists of one solitary house. It stands next to the site of a deserted medieval village. In every direction, it's farmland. It's been like this since 1755, when the last residence, other than the one that remains, was demolished, leaving behind only the ruins of a church for company. You can't drive to the house, not publicly anyway. It is served by a road, but you have to drive through Gunthorpe Hall to reach it. That makes sense because the house is managed by the Gunthorpe estate. There are no public roads here. The only way to reach Martinsthorpe is on foot. Zooming in, you can see the one solitary house that remains, the route of the path that passes it, and the remains of the church, which on this map is marked as being in ruins. The quickest way to get to all of this is by parking in a little lay-by, if you can call it that, on the A6003 between Gunthorpe and Preston. Right, so let's walk along that path, which is actually a bridle way, to reach what remains of Martinsthorpe. The track is an ancient route, a true ridgeway dating back to the Bronze Age. It begins in Stamford and follows a limestone ridge cutting through Edith Weston, Manton and Martinsthorpe. It eventually enters Leicestershire near Withcote after crossing Martinsthorpe Parish. If you park where I did, just off the A6003, it will take you about 12 minutes to get to the house. While you walk this path though, you can't help but admire your surroundings, and I was loving this. Can you see why? The bridleway takes you not only past the house, but also past the site of the former church and the remains of the medieval village. It can all be examined from here. A lot of people do walk this. There's a nice circular route you can walk that uses this path, and it takes in Manton, Preston and Wing, 3 other villages close by. Alternatively, you can carry on straight past the house and the earthworks and end up on the remains of a 17th century carriage road near Brook. So now we've walked the 12 minutes or so to reach the property. Its name is Martinsthorpe House, although it has been known in the past as Old Hall Farmhouse. The building used to be the stable block to Martinsthorpe Hall, which has long since gone. It was demolished in 1755, but the stables were saved and converted into a farmhouse. This is the only house in Martinsthorpe. It was uninhabited and bricked up for several decades, but there's no reason why it can't be lived in permanently. The last time it was, though, was back in 1952. The thing is, it's rarely on the open market because at present it's being used as a holiday let. I'd imagine when it is available, this Grade 2 listed 17th century stone property is very sought after. It stands totally alone on the ridge, surrounded by the heavenly rolling landscape of pasture and arable fields. It even has distant views of Rutland Water. Well, just think of the advantages of living in that house, people. You wouldn't have any problem with your neighbours, would you? There aren't any. There are no neighbours at all. I mean, I suppose you could count Gunthorpe Hall, which is up there in the very far distance. I don't know whether you spotted it as we were walking up towards this house, but Gunthorpe Hall is visible from here. And speaking of things that are visible, how about waking up to this view every morning? I certainly wouldn't mind that. I'm sure you wouldn't either. So that's the house, and really that's really all there is to Martinsthorpe in terms of buildings. There aren't any more. Of course, there used to be some more buildings because there's loads of earthworks over here that prove that. Let's have a look at these and explain what these are all about. So here we have the earthworks marking the site of the former medieval village of Martinsthorpe and the site of the church. The earthworks include the remains of a manorial moat and a listed post-medieval standing building. You can clearly see house platforms, hollowways, village closes and a pond hollow too. The moat measures approximately 100 metres east to west and 75 metres north to south. The ditches are 1 metre deep on the south and west sides. Aerial photography indicates the village formerly extended to the south, but this area is now under plough and no visible features remain. Later development of the site in the centre of the village involved the building of Martinsthorpe Hall in the late 17th century, seen today as a substantial irregular mound of rubble. The church, which was more accurately a chapel and present by 1589, was contemporary with the hall. It was dedicated to St Martin. As we know already, it was in ruins by the time of the OS map, and now there are no remains at all, having been pulled down completely in the early 20th century. So why did Martinsthorpe become deserted? As we know, there are many reasons for a village to disappear, and around here the change in land use was a big one. Nobody knows for sure what the reason was here, but it's presumed that's what happened to Martinsthorpe, a change of use from arable to pasture due to an increase in the price of wool. Martinsthorpe wasn't mentioned in the Domesday Book. Its first mention in any sort of documents came in 1205, and by 1327 there were 14 households. The manor became part of the estates of the de Montfort family, remaining in their ownership until the reign of Henry VI. During their ownership, it was sublet to the Seyton family and eventually passed to the Fieldings, who became the Earls of Denbigh in 1622. By that time, the hall was built, but the village had become depopulated. It was Sir William Fielding who was the man behind the hall's construction. He was a court favourite of Charles I and served alongside Prince Rupert during the English Civil War. During that war, he was wounded in an attack on Birmingham in 1643 and died a few days later. His descendants inherited the hall and promptly sold it to William Cavendish, the Duke of Devonshire. Despite his purchase, Cavendish clearly didn't find the building at all favourable. He had several other country seats after all. By 1755, the hall had been abandoned and was largely demolished. That would leave just the church and the stable block, which is now the farmhouse. And that's it, folks. Martinsthorpe really is just one unoccupied house. Luckily for us, the next one has a bit more to it than that. Right next door to Martinsthorpe is a substantial village. In this next one, we'll be talking at length about the railway again, because it runs under the entire village via a tunnel. See you there tomorrow. Now, just before I go, remember, this video is part of a huge project to visit every civil parish in England. That's more than 10,000. These routes are pre-planned, and due to time constraints, I can't cover every detail or walk down every street. Please don't complain if this video missed something out. I pronounce names how I choose to. I am very aware that local dialect may vary, and I don't take kindly to criticism about this. You've been warned. It's impossible to know everything too. If this video was terrible, make your own. If you're a regular watcher of The Village Idiot, you're not the only one. If you've got a small business, why not use my videos to advertise it? Leave a comment below if you're interested. And finally, thanks for watching this episode, everybody. Give us a like and a subscribe if you've enjoyed this episode, and share it with your friends and relatives. It all helps to keep this mission going. Until next time, I've been Andy, also known as The Village Idiot, and I'm out.